So, ripped the T-handle out of this old dirt cheap Homelite blower here. Bought this thing 5 or 6 years ago, if I remember correctly, for like 120 bucks, thinking it was going to die after a season or two. But it keeps going and going and going. This is a common wear item, so let's fix it. I'm going to be putting mixed fuel in this that's going to go back in the machine, so this one has to be extra clean. Let's not be dumb. Or let's be less dumb. Alright, so now spark plug is out, and there is no fuel. You can see I've put an earplug in here so dirt and stuff doesn't get down in there, and that is just Velcro. We'll fix that later. You can see that needs to be redone, but not a big deal. I don't want any loose pieces. That should be perfect once it cools. Much better. All right, nothing loose. We're literally just putting rope inside the cylinder so the piston can't move. And I should be normal lefty-loosey at this point. All right, that's pretty packed. Now when we go to turn this, there we go. Okay, so I need to remember, nope, that doesn't matter what side goes up. That's a Captain Obvious move, and that will fall out when I pick it up. Cool. All right. So now we're into it. This is the heart of this little sucker here. Let us get to it. Good. That's not going to happen again. I'll bet you it pops out this way. Yes, it does. All right. So we're just going to fake a crimp with a little knot and call it a day. It's not going to be a big deal. I mean, technically, I don't even need a measuring tape. I can literally just lay it out. Figure a little more for a knot. That's what broke off, so we'll be good. Let's do a knot on this end. Roll it to make it small. All right, now the trick is, can I make a knot small enough that it'll slide under there? Knowing me, I'll do it. I don't think this knot is going to fit under there, no matter how tight I pull it. There's no chance. So the question is twofold. One, will that knot hold without slipping? I think so. And the second is, will this operate with that knot sticking out a little bit? Actually, that might be good. Actually, that might be very good. Yep, we're going to send that. Okay, that's about the whole deal there. It was pressing here. Yep, that's what it was. So this was actually a problem. This rope can't protrude because it acts as a brake. All right, new game plan. I'm going to do a search in the shop, and I'm going to look for any sort of brass ring that, you know, has a small diameter that will fit over this nylon rope that I can smash down to roughly this size. It doesn't have to be brass, but it can't be wider than this. Reason being, it's got to fit in there literally just like that. So let's take a look and see what we can come up with. The goal now is going to be, we've created a new knot. We're just going to have to slip in here. But this time, I'm going to melt it all and pound it flat with a hammer. And see if we can get it nice and flat this way. And if we can trim it and do what we need. So. Okay, so now it's flat, like this, so it's flat this way. I'm gonna let it cool down. And then either with a razor knife or scissors, I should be able to trim it up. That's how you test hot things, is you just grab it. Trust me. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so now I need it. Different shape. Let's see if scissors will cut this, and if not, we'll figure something out. That looks good. and it's ugly, but I don't care. It just has to work. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. I hope that came through on camera because I'm not taking it back out. It is perfectly and completely underneath where the brass one was. And because it's melted nylon, it should be super durable. All right. I oil plastic during certain projects. People might think I'm crazy, but that feels better to me, and it's good. I'll take it. Okay, that's as long as I'm going to get, and this cord was longer anyway. So we're going to pull out just a bit and make a knot right about there. And that should theoretically, that's what I want. That's what I want. All right. I was gonna put this back together without cleaning this area, and I just can't. That's not me. So let's clean this up. Even a cheap machine can last a good long while if you take care of it. And this one has lasted a lot longer than I thought. Far exceeded my expectations. And part of the reason is because I try and take care of my stuff. So let me set this down. And just get her as clean as we can. All right, anything else is futile. Let's get it back together. So I found the manufacture date on this. It's November the 8th, 2017. It's right about as old as I thought. None of my machines ever get ethanol fuel. It's always premium ethanol free. I think that's one of the reasons I am never rebuilding carbs. I never have startup problems after winter. And even all the bulbs and fuel lines seem to last forever. These are original and they're not dry rotting. So anyway, non-ethanol fuel is where it's at in my opinion. Costs a little extra, but you're not burning that much. There it is. All right. So, Still have a rope in the cylinder. Everything is nice and clean. We cannot pull the handle now because we're connected and we're plugged up, which is exactly what I want. So let's get this bad boy back on. Fan is clean. I see no opportunity to do anything to this except put it back on. So, and that might have screwed on. Yep. Good. Oh, I see. So that needs to happen at the same time. I'm not going to go crazy with this. Rope is out. Spark plug is not yet back in. Let's talk about the spark plug. It's the original L7RTC. It is not that clean, and I never touched it. I bought the machine again, thinking that it was gonna die. So we're gonna test this. We're gonna clean this up. And if it's not bad, we're reusing it. I do not just throw out spark plugs just because. A lot of, I think, wastefulness in lawn equipment. It's just a leaf blower. It doesn't need new stuff unless it really needs new stuff. Stuff gets replaced when it needs it and not a moment sooner is my new motto in life. So let's test it. I saw it on TikTok Shop and had to have it for this reason. I figure, I forget what it was, 20 bucks, something like that. If this prevents me from throwing out a few spark plugs every year, then it pays for itself pretty quickly. Cool. And again, I've never used it, so I think that is it. Let's see what this does. Yep, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully that's coming through on camera. So now we're going to clean it up. Unplug for safety before I touch it. I have a spark plug cleaner and I'm going to show you how it works. Let's wire brush this first, just to clean the threads. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. This is a pneumatic spark plug cleaner, and the stuff inside here, basically you put the spark plug down in here and hit the button a couple of times, but the stuff inside here is a super finely granulated, if I remember correctly, it's like a glass or silica powder, and you do not want to get this stuff in your lungs. I should theoretically go put on a big face mask. What I'm going to do is hold my breath, hit it a couple of times, rotate the plug, and just walk away and let the dust settle, and then blow it out of the shop. If I'm not breathing, it can't get in my lungs, but this stuff that's in this bag is real nasty. Safety first. All right, so here we go. And then I'll just hit it again, let that settle, and she'll be cleaned up in a couple of minutes. That's what this stuff is for, by the way. I actually do wear all this stuff pretty regularly. I don't mess around when it comes to staying alive for a long time. You might not have seen that because I adjusted my camera, but this is what I'm talking about. I actually do wear PPE constantly. All right. So, what that does, for lack of a better term, is it kind of bead blasts this whole top portion here. And then I just hit it with a wire brush to keep an eye on it. It looks good. It's the small stuff that makes the world go round. I had put dielectric grease inside this spark plug boot when I got it. Dielectric grease is absolutely wonderful stuff. Yes, you can flood electronic connections with it. People will argue about that until they're blue in the face, but I have old Honda manuals for motorcycle that specifically state flooding electrical connections with dielectric grease to prevent moisture intrusion. So it's been done for decades, works great. This stuff has dirt and whatnot in it, so I'm going to clean it out, put new grease in there. And again, I'll show you. We're going to pop this in. Nothing will be able to get in there. You see how clean this is after almost 8 years. And it'll last another many years. We're going to clean up a little bit here. Probably drop a bore scope down in the cylinder just to take a peek because, hey, why not? We got a bore scope. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. All right, let's see if I can get you a view here. So it's not the best looking cylinder. There is some scoring in there, but it's also not the end of the world. Come on, baby. It's such a tiny little cylinder. Let's see if we can do this. I'm trying to move the camera inside it. It's not really working. So yeah, there's definitely some scoring in there. It's not perfect, but this machine, again, I keep saying it just because I'm surprised it's still alive. It was dirt cheap, and I just do 50 to 1 and hammer it. So the plug has been cleaned up. Let's clean up just around the top. Being very careful not to get anything down in there. Lighter fluid is a great solvent. VMNP naphtha, as far as I understand, is also lighter fluid. It's chemically identical. Wonderful solvent. Plenty clean enough. Right, that crush washer has already been crushed, so I'm just going to kind of feel my way through it. That's pretty much it. Let's use a little lighter fluid. Clean out any old stuff. We'll blow it out. It'll dry really fast. And we'll put some nice new stuff in there. We are gold. Nice and clean. Dielectric grease. Right on. All right, let's get these covers back on, fuel her up, and get her going again. Old note I left to myself. 5 August 2021, hour meter installed. Second season. Reads 0 hours. Spark plug cleaned and sealed with dielectric grease. How useful is that? I don't know, but maybe it will help me years and years from now. I still kind of remember most of what I've done to most of these machines, but it's an OCD thing, I guess. 18.9 hours right now. That's what we're at. Second season, I said I put it on. So 19, 20, 21 at most. I don't know how many hours a normal blower gets used. This is just for my house, but that's what's on it. Might make a mess, don't care. Matter of fact, with that pan, I know I'm gonna make a mess because what a terrible spout. Should be much sharper on the end, but whatever. We'll spill a little bit and we'll clean it up. Just got to get most of this back into the fuel tank and we're gold. I'm in shock. Knock on wood, that went great. Plug is in 6 times. Let's see if we can get her going. Okay, so 2 things. One, I think I mentioned in the video that there was this piece right there that I was going to forget. And guess what? I forgot this. So what happened is without that washer, the fan was pressing up against this plastic piece. This thing was not running right. And of course I didn't know what was going on for long enough for it to start to melt plastic. Cut it off. Long story short, don't forget this washer. That's the first thing that I forgot. That basically is going to sit over here, and we're going to make sure that all this is still functional and everything is good. And the second thing that I have to do is update you guys on the rope. The rope snapped. Melting the rope did not work. So what I did is, this is just a terminal connector. And it had some heat shrink on it. I smashed it flat on the rope. And once I trim it, that is going to fit absolutely perfectly in here. It's very hard to see in this light. I apologize for that. But basically, let's see if I can get this. That's what you're dealing with right there. So that piece is going to go in there. And of course, I'll trim the loop off. Let's get this going again. If you forget a small piece, you can melt plastic and destroy stuff. This is not the end of the world. Should be able to get her up and running. She's all put back together properly now. Let's get her going. Okay, should be good to go. So she needs a little carb adjustment there. Let's grab a tool and give her a little bit more fuel. She's bogging. She runs as good as she's ever going to run for a cheap machine. I'm calling this one finished.